My perfect sister tried to sabotage my wedding, but it blew up in her face spectrally. My sister, let's call her Serafina, has always been the golden child. From the moment she was born, she was adored, praised, and given everything she ever wanted. I, on the other hand, was the quiet, artistic one, content to live in her shadow and pick up the scraps of attention left behind. Our parents, lovely people in their own right, never intentionally favored Serafina, but the difference in how they treated us was stark. Serafina's achievements were celebrated with grand parties and expensive gifts, while mine were met with a nod and a "that's nice, dear." I learned early on that to get any real acknowledgement, I had to outshine Serafina, a feat that felt impossible given her seemingly effortless perfection. This dynamic continued into adulthood. Serafina excelled in her career, married a wealthy man, and had 2 beautiful children. Her life was a Pinterest board come to life, and our parents never missed an opportunity to remind me of it. "Why can't you be more like Serafina?" was a common refrain, usually delivered with a sigh and a wistful look in my direction. I tried, I really did. I pursued my passions, built a successful small business, and cultivated a wonderful group of friends. But it was never enough. I was always the other daughter, the one who hadn't quite lived up to the family's unspoken expectations. Then came David. David was everything Serafina's husband wasn't: kind, funny, incredibly supportive, and utterly unimpressed by material wealth. He loved me for who I was, not for what I could be. We met at a local art fair, where I was showcasing my latest sculptures. He bought one of my pieces, and we spent the rest of the afternoon talking. It was instant, electric, and utterly unexpected. For the first time in my life, I felt truly seen, truly cherished. When David proposed, I was ecstatic. We decided on a small, intimate wedding at a beautiful botanical garden, surrounded by our closest friends and family. I wanted a day that was about our love, not about grand gestures or impressing anyone. Of course, Serafina had other ideas. A botanical garden? How quaint, she'd said, wrinkling her nose when I told her our plans. Don't you want something more elegant? Something that truly reflects the family standing? I bit back a sharp retort. It reflects our standing, Serafina. David and I love nature, and we want our wedding to be a reflection of that. She just scoffed. Well, I suppose it's your day. But you know, I could help you plan something truly spectacular. I have contacts, darling. A friend of a friend is a wedding planner for celebrities. She could transform that garden into something truly magical. I politely declined, reiterating that we wanted a simple, personal ceremony. This, I now realize, was my first mistake. Serafina was not used to being told no. As the wedding day approached, Serafina became increasingly agitated. She'd call me daily, offering unsolicited advice, criticizing my choices, and generally making me feel inadequate. My wedding dress, a simple, elegant ivory gown, was too plain. My floral arrangements, hand-picked wildflowers, were uninspired. Even our choice of caterer, a local farm-to-table restaurant, was unrefined. Honestly, sister, sometimes I wonder if you even care about making a good impression, she'd huffed during one particularly draining phone call. What will people think? I finally snapped. Serafina, with all due respect, what people think is not my concern. This is David's and my wedding. We are happy with our choices, and if you're not, then perhaps you shouldn't come. There was a stunned silence on the other end of the line. I immediately regretted my words. Serafina, for all her flaws, was still my sister, and despite everything, I did want her there. How could you say that? She finally whispered, her voice laced with feigned hurt. After everything I've done for you, after all my efforts to make your day special, you want to exclude me? That's not what I said, Serafina. I sighed, rubbing my temples. I just want you to respect our decisions. That's all. She hung up on me. For a few days, I thought she'd actually decided to boycott the wedding. I felt a pang of sadness, but also a sense of relief. Perhaps, I thought, this would be a blessing in disguise. But Serafina, ever the dramatic, couldn't resist a grand entrance. 2 days before the wedding, she called me, her voice dripping with artificial sweetness. "Darling, I've had a change of heart," she announced. "I realize I've been overbearing, and I truly apologize. I just want you to have the most perfect day. I've decided to embrace your rustic theme. In fact, I've even found the most adorable little flower girl dress for my daughter, Lily. It's perfectly in keeping with your wildflower aesthetic." I was cautiously optimistic. Perhaps she had finally turned a corner. Perhaps she really did want to support me. I should have known better. The day of the wedding dawned bright and beautiful. The botanical garden was stunning, the wildflowers were in full bloom, and David looked incredibly handsome in his suit. Everything was perfect. Or so I thought. The ceremony was set to begin at 3 p.m. At 2:45 p.m., I was in the bridal suite, surrounded by my bridesmaids, feeling a mix of nerves and pure joy. That's when my maid of honor, my best friend Chloe, came in, her eyes wide with alarm. "You need to see this," she whispered. Pulling out her phone, on the screen was a picture, clearly taken from a social media post. It was a picture of Serafina, standing in front of the botanical garden's main entrance, wearing a flowing, off-white gown that was undeniably bridal. Her hair was styled in an elaborate updo, and she held a bouquet of white roses that looked suspiciously similar to the ones I had chosen for my own bouquet. Beside her stood her husband, looking slightly uncomfortable, and their daughter, Lily, in a tiny, equally elaborate white dress. The caption read, "So excited for my sister's big day. It's finally happening. #wedding vibes, #sister of the bride, #so happy for her, my blood ran cold." This wasn't just an off-white dress. This was a wedding dress. And the pose, the bouquet, the overall presentation. It was clear she was trying to upstage me, to steal my thunder, to make it seem like she was the bride. "No," I breathed, my voice barely a whisper. She wouldn't dare. But she had. And the comment section was already filling up with confused remarks. Wait, is this her wedding too? Is she getting married? Double wedding. Chloe was furious. "I'll go talk to her. This is unacceptable." "No," I said, a strange calm settling over me. "Let her have her moment. For now." I walked down the aisle, trying to ignore the whispers and the curious glances directed at Serafina, who was now seated in the front row, beaming as if she were the guest of honor at her own event. David saw the look on my face and squeezed my hand reassuringly. He knew the ceremony was beautiful, despite Serafina's best efforts. We exchanged our vows, the sun setting behind us, casting a golden glow over the garden. As we walked back down the aisle as husband and wife, I caught Serafina's eye. She smiled triumphantly, as if she had won some invisible battle. I just smiled back, a secret glimmer in my eyes. The reception was held in a glass-enclosed pavilion overlooking the garden. As guests mingled and enjoyed cocktails, Serafina continued her charade. She posed for photos, accepted congratulations, and even took the microphone during the open MIC session, ostensibly to give a toast. "To my beautiful sister," she began, her voice saccharine sweet. "I'm so incredibly happy for her. It's been a long journey, but she's finally found her happily ever after. And I, as her older sister, couldn't be prouder." She then launched into a long, rambling anecdote about our childhood, subtly highlighting her own achievements and painting me as the slightly clumsy, less accomplished younger sister. The guests shifted uncomfortably. Our parents looked mortified. When she finally finished, I stood up, taking the microphone from her with a polite smile. "Thank you, Serafina, for that insightful trip down memory lane. I appreciate your good wishes." I paused, letting my gaze sweep over the room, meeting Serafina's defiant stare. "And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a special announcement to make." A hush fell over the room. Serafina looked bewildered, a flicker of panic in her eyes. This wasn't part of her script. Many of you know that David and I have been planning this wedding for months. I began, my voice clear and steady. And we are so grateful to all of you for being here to celebrate our special day. However, I paused, letting the suspense build. There's something I've been meaning to share. Something that happened even before we started planning this wonderful wedding. I looked directly at Serafina, who now looked genuinely confused and a little uneasy. You see, David and I actually got married 6 months ago. A collective gasp rippled through the room. Our parents' jaws dropped. Serafina's triumphant smirk vanished, replaced by a look of utter shock. We decided to elope, I continued. Just the two of us, on a quiet beach in Fiji. It was incredibly romantic, incredibly private, and absolutely perfect. We wanted to celebrate our love in our own way, without any pressure or expectations. But we also wanted to share our happiness with all of you, our beloved friends and family. So, we decided to have this beautiful ceremony today, a symbolic renewal of our vows, a chance to truly celebrate our union with the people who mean the most to us. I pulled out my phone and held it up, displaying a beautiful picture of David and me, barefoot on a white sand beach, wearing simple white attire, exchanging rings. The date stamp was clear, 6 months prior. "This is us," I said, a wide smile spreading across my face. "Husband and wife, for half a year already. And it's been the most incredible 6 months of my life." The room erupted in applause, cheers, and laughter. Our parents rushed over, hugging us, tears in their eyes. David kissed me, a genuine, joyful kiss. The atmosphere was electric with genuine happiness and relief. And Serafina? She stood frozen, her face pale, her carefully constructed facade crumbling before everyone's eyes. Her wedding dress suddenly looked ridiculous, her forced smiles pathetic. The comments on her social media post, which Chloe was gleefully showing me later, quickly turned from confusion to amusement and then outright mockery. "Looks like you're a little late to the party, Serafina." Pretending to be the bride when she's already married? Awkward. Did she really think no one would notice? The rest of the evening was a blur of celebration. Our friends and family congratulated us, laughed with us, and shared in our joy. Serafina, after a few whispered, heated words with her husband, retreated to a corner, nursing a glass of champagne, her bridal gown now a glaring symbol of her failed attempt at sabotage. She left early, without a word, her grand entrance and theatrical performance utterly overshadowed by the truth. The next day, our parents called me, practically in tears. They apologized profusely for never truly seeing me, for allowing Serafina's antics to go unchecked for so long. They expressed their genuine happiness for David and me and promised to make amends. Serafina, of course, called too, but her tone was markedly different. No more sweet whispers or veiled criticisms. Her voice was cold, sharp, and full of barely contained fury. "How could you do that to me?" she hissed. "Humiliate me like that? On your own wedding day?" "It wasn't my wedding day, Serafina," I replied calmly. "It was our celebration day. And I didn't humiliate you. You did that all by yourself. By trying to steal the spotlight, by trying to make my special day about you, by wearing a wedding dress to a non-wedding. You created that spectacle, not me." She hung up again. I haven't heard from her since, except for a passive-aggressive message on social media from her husband, blaming me for ruining Serafina's evening. I simply blocked him. David and I are now enjoying our truly peaceful and joyful marriage. Our parents have been making a genuine effort to connect with me, and they've even started seeing Serafina's behavior for what it truly is. As for Serafina, I hear through the grapevine that her perfect life isn't quite so perfect anymore. Her marriage is apparently strained, and her social media presence, once a meticulously curated showcase of perfection, has gone surprisingly quiet. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about actively trying to hurt someone, but simply by living your best, most authentic life. And sometimes, the truth has a way of revealing itself, no matter how hard someone tries to overshadow it. My sister tried to steal my thunder, but all she did was expose her own insecurity and pettiness. And in doing so, she unwittingly gave me the greatest wedding gift of all, the freedom to finally step out of her shadow and shine in my own light.